Let's hear from the Divine Masculine Collective tonight. Okay, falling in love, human nature. I love it, okay? I'm also getting a low-key anxiety feeling with this because I feel like someone is realizing that they're falling in love, and that human nature portion of it is that they just can't help the way that they feel. Okay, this is someone who is ready to start having some serious conversations or honest conversations, either with themselves or the people around them. People around them too could be noticing like there's a huge shift or a change in them. And I feel like some of the shifts and changes that they're going through is like this huge disconnection from the life that they've currently have for themselves, or the lives that they're currently building. There's like a secret part of them that feels like, I'm just doing this for show. Like I'm just doing it for the world around me to see. But it's like deep down inside, I'm falling in love with somebody else. And many of you may feel this as well, because the same thing is happening to you with this person, okay? Despite the circumstances in your life as well, it's something that maybe you too, you're starting to realize that it's human nature. And it's, I'm hearing rocking the boat in both of your worlds. I feel like this is a shared energy of something that two people are experiencing, whether you guys are at a distance, no matter what obstacles appear as though they're in your way of why it is you two shouldn't be together, why it is it shouldn't work out. It doesn't matter. I feel like time is continuing to pass, and therefore human nature is now being understood. Okay, this is not something that you guys can just get rid of at this point on this journey. Okay, before I dig into lessons learned, let me just tap into this falling in love energy a little bit more. Okay, what are you two meant to learn out of this? Why are you falling deeper in love with one another? What's going on? Okay, so past life relationship. Okay, you've known each other before. This is destined. This is not going to go away no matter how much you try to run from it. If you do run or put yourself at a distance from this person, you try to pretend it doesn't exist, the feeling ends up just coming back more, even strongly, because I feel like you have unfinished business with this person. And also too, guys, like past life relationship also tells me like, it's important for you to acknowledge and admit that you're on the journey, that an awakening has happened to you, that you have experienced synchronicities, you've experienced just bizarre, serendipitous for some of you moments with this person, and that it has set you on a spiritual path. Okay, because I'm seeing like the going back and forth here. For some of you, the minute you sink into that energy of like trusting divine timing and knowing that there's a purpose behind connecting with this person and it'll be shown to you, the more you guys are falling in love with one another. And I'm also hearing no resistance. The reason many of you are connecting and falling back in love even more strongly is because there's been no resistance in your separation for both of you. Both of you had to get to that place, because each time you went through your separation, it would either be the feminine chasing or it would be the divine masculines coming in and out. Okay? And the divine feminines just accepting it and continuing to hurt. Many of you were just like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And it's either you walked away or the universe yanked your divine masculine out of your life. But when you guys have unfinished business, it pulls you back towards one another, because you can't run from the emotions and the feelings that you feel for one another. Literally, it's like crying for your person, right? When you guys are in separation. And I'm hearing too, like falling in love, a lot of your divine masculines are opening up and becoming more emotional as well since connecting with you. Many of you have returned optimism to their life. They're feeling a lighter energy. Many of them are able to resolve karmic energies now more peacefully. Before, it was really stressful, so they felt so stuck, like they couldn't do anything about it. And it was so draining, because each time they tried to fight the karmic energy and get away, it was like chaos, more chaos. So a lot of them were just like, shit, I'm just going to sit in this and I'm just going to keep the mask on and I'm just going to play the game. And I feel like the more that they did that, the more opportunities that were presented for them to experience freedom, to maybe even connect with you. That's why the universe says the separation is a blessing, right? I feel like a lot of you might have gone through this like long separation where it was like, okay, now the karmics got to show their true colors now. Before, the karmics had a mask on, right? Because it was easy to have that mask on with the divine masculines because you were in the picture, divine feminine, right? But then the universe maybe either yanked you out or made you have some kind of spiritual awakening or epiphany. And I feel like then the karmic slip back into their old patterns. Okay, so this is what has someone falling in love with you. I feel like they're just like, listen, without your energy around me, I just don't feel optimistic. I'm back in the same cycles that I was in. I'm feeling underappreciated. I'm feeling like there's no spark here with this person. Yeah, it's because they took their mask off. And you can't unsee it now because you know what your divine feminine energy feels like. Okay, romantic feelings, falling in love. The feelings are real with you and they're worth exploring, which is why many of them are now peacefully dissolving a lot of these karmic relationships. They really had to play like the slow game in order to get out with their sanity intact. Okay, because I guarantee you, many of them have tried to escape these karmic cycles, and many of the divine feminines witness, they would just get deeper into it. Okay, but they've had realizations, they've had epiphanies, and they were like, damn, I've got to ride the wave on this one. Okay, and that's what they did. Many of you might have had divine masculines too who were riding that wave for children. I just want to say that as a side note for many of you who may have connections with children. Many of your divine masculines staying in their marriages or long-term partnership situation, co-parenting, whatever the case was, they had to stay for the children. But by going with the flow, they started to understand and see why the universe put you in their life. It was returning them back to this playful energy. That's why no one can keep you guys apart, eh? Many of the karmics try to wreak havoc over the divine masculine's life, and there you go, showing up, not caring about a thing in the world in terms of what the karmic situation looked like. You just knew that you loved your masculine unconditionally and that you weren't about to apologize for it. And that, in hindsight, gave them the strength that they needed to start being more of themselves, being more authentic with who it is they are, being better fathers for some of your divine masculine as well, better parents. That's why many of them endured these karmic situations as well, because the universe wouldn't let them exit in a non-peaceful way, right? And many of you got the clarity about it. That's why you started to let go, because by holding on, you would remain bitter about the karmic situation, right? Like every time they had to leave, every time they'd have to block you, every time they would just kind of turn from like Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde. But many of you started realizing, like, wait a second, they got to see things for themselves. Like, I really do have to peacefully allow them this space to do that. And because many of you did, I do feel like you're now being rewarded with, like, the truth. The truth is that you two are falling just even more in love with one another, okay? Let's get some behind-the-scenes lessons that they may be learning through this experience as well. By being more authentic, what's happening with the karmic situation. Okay, so the divine feminine's presence. I feel like you've made your presence known. What's happening with the karmic situation is that many of them are finding out about you as well, divine feminine. That's why I was saying many of your masculines are getting ready to peacefully resolve some of these karmic situations. That's why they had to be away from you and be, sorry guys, in this state of separation for such a long time, because they had to actually get to a place where they're like, okay, I'm ready to speak my truth. I've not been able to stop thinking about this person, and I want to be able now to initiate, let's say, a divorce, a separation. Before, the masculines were shit scared to do that stuff, right? Because the karmics would jump on their case. Yeah, well, how do you think you're going to take care of the kids without me? Now you should see your divine masculines. They're able to do everything from A to Z when it comes to the kids. Okay, and again, that's a side note for some of you. Not all of you, it's not going to resonate, but because that space there is open and the card came out, I just have to remind you guys that they really are stepping up in terms of not feeling any types of fear in a lot of these karmic connections anymore. They're bravely initiating what needs to be done in the right way, okay? We have detachment and cold, and I don't get this in a bad way. It's just when you're really trying to detach from these karmic situations, it can be emotionally draining, because I feel like for some of your masculines, they genuinely do not want to hurt another person. It's not just this karmic. I feel like that's just a general trait about them. It might just be their horoscope, okay? But they have a tendency about them where it's like they give and give and give, and they will do and do and do, and there's nothing that they wouldn't do for their kids. And many of you may be like, ugh, barf sometimes, because it's like it seems as though there's nothing they wouldn't do for this karmic person, but there's a reason behind it, right? They're givers, and they may be learning lessons in this karmic situation around overgiving. Sometimes you have to be in this detached and cold energy when there's zero reciprocation, right? And as we know, there's been a theme on the channel in the last little while where it's coming up. The truth is coming up about a lot of these karmic situations, right? They've not been reciprocating a lot of the affection and attention that the masculines have been pouring into them. And that's a deep lesson that many of you masculines have had to painfully learn. Maybe some of you didn't even see this. Maybe a lot of you were deceived, right? By those delusional apps, right? Instagram, TikTok. Oh my goodness, let me go in that rabbit hole. Stay away from those rabbit holes, guys. You know, that might be a confirmation, but stay away from those rabbit holes, because I do feel like a lot of the truth, you know, it's definitely being revealed. Many of them, like the truth about these situations is that they have to be in this place of being detached towards, like, I don't mean to sound crude here, but I'm hearing the words very clearly, leeches, right? People who were leeching onto their energy and kind of sucking them dry of their vitality, no matter how much they poured into it to try to make it right or to satisfy this person, nothing worked. That's why a lot of those readings had themes of like the truth behind a lot of these karmic situations that your masculines are in is that they're loveless, they're zero intimacy, the sex is robotic, mechanical, the communication is off. Many of your masculines stay because it's their culture, okay? Maybe there could be other blocks in the way, right? Of it seeming really unorthodox for you two to be together and them not wanting to face that. But then the opposite side of that is facing hell in this karmic situation. So many of them are now coming to the realization of like, wait a second, that's what I want, genuinely want. This is what I'm choosing, and I'm getting a shit show here. Like, what am I really doing with my life? You know, so many of them, I think, are practicing a lot of this detachment. Like, they're also clearing up their social circle. Like, anybody who has any influence over this connection with you, Divine Feminine, nobody gets a say. They're falling in love. They've done what they've had to do. And now they're going to take care of business. Okay, so many of you get prepared for them to reach out, especially like in this more kind of playful, flirty energy. There's a lot of romantic feelings as well that they feel. And it's because they're getting their confidence back. And I think too, again, for those of them who might have kids here, just by being a good parent, that's making them get their confidence back as well. Okay, and very, very strongly as well, guys, with this feminine energy card coming out, I just want to end off by saying too, like in this reading, that like you've had a lot to do with the changes that your Divine Masculine has experienced. Okay, I just want you guys to know that you've really helped them like to become healthy when it comes to like choosing relationships. Okay, and I feel like this is why you two continuously, you know, resurface in one another's lives. Okay, guys? So, yeah, there's my cue at the door. I've got to end this one, but thank you guys so much for connecting with me through this reading. If you guys want a personal one, check me out on Hipsy.com. Otherwise, click on the memberships button. There's more goodies for you to enjoy in that little library. Okay, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.